Last episode was really cool. Like the more I reflected on it after we finished and I, edited and went back there and thought about it a lot more, basically having to rewatch it at that point. The idea that we did something that I guess isn't really necessary, but at the same time kind of is, and we'll see how necessary it was as we progress further throughout the story for whatever it is that who we're likely going to end up going against here, and the secrets and stuff that we'll end up uncovering, what they ended up gaining out of this certain situation. But I say unnecessary in the sense that we typically don't have to do something where we allow all the power and the things to be kind of shut out somewhere, and then for the entire episode kind of expand and showcase all your characters working together, working in ways that are different just because they don't have the same sort of technology and the same sort of like abilities to use different things that they typically would. So having to work around these issues and the things that they're kind of coming into here in the situation that's kind of at hand, and play with that a little bit more, and seeing our characters have to come together and learn to work together a lot more to make certain things like this work out a lot better is really cool. And I thought it was awesome how they did it, because it just made also like for a very fun moment of of doing something where we end up taking everything that we kind of know of how all this things kind of operated and change it and flip it over a little bit, which was pretty dope. Now we're left with the part where I don't know, once again, too much of where we're headed. Plenty of stuff have been slowly talked about, slowly built on, but will they continue to build upon that even more, and will continue our streak of getting like a new angel that we fight every episode, or is it going to kind of transition a little bit more to we have to build up and have some more internal like conflicts and stuff without them ramping that stuff up? I don't know. Or we could, I guess, do both at the same time, but that is kind of the question of where we're at right now. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe to me, and I'll answer my feel free. Stick around for the discussion. Let me know comments for this episode or series. Let's get going though with episode 12. Oh shit, the second impact. Oh, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see what happened. What the fuck? Ugh. Masato. Cause of Scar and things that happen. Probably Kaji. Oh, never mind. They sent her off in a pod. Or it saves to protect, and the wings come out. Okay. Holy fuck, this is not a nice area for us to see ourselves in. We just sent her out fucking in the ocean. She's still got the same necklace. Okay. Really cool. Is there a storm outside and that's what she's thinking? I was thinking nightmare, but doesn't really matter. We've seen some shit. Flash to the cross again. Okay. Oh, fuck. Ah.
美里さんを起こさないように静かにしてようぜ、静かに。
Guys her only care about her.
あんたたち何してんのよ。
We're hanging out.
私目当てなんじゃないの？
No.
着替えてんだから見たら殺すわよ。
They weren't planning on it until you said something.
誰かお前の着替えとんの見たいってんじゃん。
Probably you,
自意
but
識過剰なやつ。お邪魔してます。わあ、この度はご乗車おめでとうございます。おめでとうございます。
here we are a couple episodes ago thinking that she was gonna lose her job. Fearing for that. Good for her.
線が2本になってる。1位から3差に昇進したんだ。
へえ、
Nice.
知らなかった。
She never brought it up to anybody either.
情けないやっちゃな。ああ、君たちには人を思いやる気持ちはないのだろうか。あの若さで中学生2人を預かるなんて大変なことだぞ。わしらだけやな。人の心持っとるの。
Alright, buddy. Calm down a little bit there. The three children.
汚染区域ギリギリです。それでこの数値大したものだわ。
Bro's
ハーモニ
different.
クスシンクロ率もアスカに迫ってますね。
Oh, he's
これも才能
evolving.
というのかしら。
まさにエヴァに乗るために生まれてきたような子供です、
Yeah, it's almost like that,
本
huh?
人が望んでいなくてもね。
Mm-hmm.
きっとあの子は嬉しくないわよ。
I don't know, he's been okay with it, seems like the past few episodes, but we'll see how he keeps going.
シンジ君、よくやったわ。
何がですか？
ハーモニクスが前回より8も伸びているわ。大した数字よ。
でも
You're
私
becoming
50
one.
も少ないじゃん。
あら、10日で8よ。大したものだわ。
大したことないわよ。よかったわね。お褒めの言葉をいただいて。
Yeah, it's like she wants that.
先に帰るわ。バカ。
昇進おめでとうございます。
ありがとう。でも正直あんまり嬉しくないのよね。
More for you to do now.
僕もさっきみたいに褒められてもあまり嬉しくないし、逆にアスカを怒らせる。
Because she's not the one. Why did she get mad when I got
何
praised?
が悪
Right?
かったんだろう。
He didn't do anything wrong.
さっきの気になる。
It's all her, brother.
そうして人の顔色ばかり気にしてるから。
企画リさんはこの相田健介で
Listen, bro, she doesn't like you.
相田くん。
いえ礼を言われるほどのことは何も当然のことですよ。 せやけど
I was wondering that too.
ここにおるんや。
私が誘ったのよ。
Okay, you guys are friendly.
レイは誘ったわよちゃんと。でも付き合い悪いのよねあの子。もう梶さん遅いわ。
Why did you invite him?
こういうの。
いえ、ただ苦手なんです。人が多いのって。
Mm-hmm.
なんでわざわざ
Especially people like them,
大
right?
騒ぎしなきゃならないんだろ
Somebody like Ray's more your speed.
う。昇進ですか。それって美里さんが人に認められたってことですよね。
ま、そうなるわね。
And that they expect more out of you now. That's why it's not a great thing.
嬉しくないんですか。
全然嬉しくないってことはないのよ。少しは。
It's the same thing with your scores going up. They're gonna expect more from you.
じゃあなんでここにネルフに入ったんですか。
I'd willingly do it.
昔のことなんて忘れちゃった。
So we're gonna play a lot of focus into her here. The boy.
きっと梶さんだわ。
Or Ray.
本部か
あ
ら直なんでね。そこで一緒になったんだ。
怪しいわね。
気持ち
Yes.
そんなわけないでしょ。
で日本を離れるなんて前例のなかったことだ。これも留守を任せた桂木を信頼してるってことさ。
父さんここにいないんですか。
リカ司令は今南極
What? Why? What are we doing out there?
生命の存在も許さない死の世界南極。いや地獄と言うべきかな。
だが我々人類はここに立っている。生物として生きたままだ。
科学の力で
Everything's
守られているから
red
な
too.。
科学は人の力だよ。
その傲慢が15年前の悲劇セカンドインパクトを引き起こしたのだ。
A mistake that we can't let repeat. Got it. And
与え
that
られた
happens
罰と
here.
してはあまりに大きすぎる。まさに死海そのものだよ。
The
だ
Dead
が
Sea.
現在の汚れなき浄化された世界だ。
俺は罪にまみれても人が生きている世界を望む。
Brother, like, what the fuck is that? Like, what? Like, what? Well,
AT フィールド。
新しい使い方ね。
oh, it's gooping all over us.
大した破壊力ね。
Yeah.
さすが AT フィールド。来るわね、多分。
次はここに本体ごとね。
その時は光司令は
Yeah, he's,
強力なジャミングの
yeah.
ため連絡不能です。
マギ
Oh,
の
it's on us.
前回一致で撤退を推奨しています。
どうするの？今の責任者はあなたよ。
Mm-hmm. And the responsibility all falls on you.
特別宣言 D17。半径50キロ以内の全市民は直ちに避難。松代にはマギのバックアップを頼んで。
ここを放棄するんですか。
いいえ。ただ、みんなで危ない橋を渡ることはない。
Why are you honking? They're all trying to leave. Settle down. Alright, well, that's a first, it feels like. Not putting people in danger.
判断でエヴァを3体とも捨てる気？賞賛は 0.00001%。
They keep getting more and more difficult to happen.
ゼロではないわ。
Well, and once again, it's not zero.
桂木三佐。
現責任者は私です。
I usually feel confident when she has a plan, but the way that we frame the whole episode makes me feel like things are gonna go bad here.
自分のためでしょ。あなたの使徒への復讐は。
That's why we don't back down. That would make sense. For forcing you here, taking everything from you.
受け止める。そう落下予測地点にエヴァを配置。 AT フィールド最大であなたたちが直接使徒を受け止めるのよ。
賞賛は
神のみぞ知るといったところかしら。
Don't worry about that, because it's not very likely.
まさに奇跡ね。
Yep.
奇跡ってのは起こしてこそ初めて価値が出るものよ。つまり何とかしてみせろってこと。
Yeah.
すまないけど他に方法がないの。この作戦は作戦と言えるの。
This is a death wish, dude. Yeah.
だから嫌なら辞退できるわ。
Give them the option to be out, but you know they
みん
won't.
ないいのね。衣装を書くことになってるけどどうする？
別にいいわ。そんなつもりないもの。
I don't plan on needing one.
必要。
Ray's reason is more so she doesn't have anybody for it, right? Okay.
終わったらみんなにステーキをおごるから。本当？約束する。
A treat that may not come.
忘れないでよ。期待してて。
ステーキで喜ぶと思ってんのかしら。これだからセカンドインパクト世代って貧乏臭いのよね。
That's your standard for risking my life, huh?
何がうわーいよ。大げさに喜んだりしちゃってさ。
Mm.
それで美里さんが気持ちよく指揮できるならいいじゃない。あんたも今度は一緒に来るんだよ。
Yeah, no getting out of those.
私行かない。どうして？肉嫌いだもん。
Oh. You can still come, we'll find something. Nice to gain a little info on Ray, you know, she doesn't speak much, so we take the crumbs.
こんなに範囲が広いの？端っこまで随分ありますよ。
目標の AT フィールドをもってすれば、そのどこに落ちても本部を根こそぎえぐることができるわ。
ですからエヴァ全機をこ
Jesus
れら
Christ.
3カ所に配置します。
この配置の根拠は？
勘よ。
Yeah.
そう女の勘。
なんだ。って当たったことないんだ。
I don't think she has the best of looks.
なぜエヴァに乗ってんの？決まってんじゃない。自分の才能を世の中に示す
Yeah,
た
I'm
めよ。
sure, buddy.
自分の存在を？まあ似たようなもんね。あの子には聞かないの？
I already
綾
know.
波には前聞いたんだ。仲のおよろしいこと。そんなんじゃないよ。シンジはどうなのよ。わからない。わからないってあんたバカ？そうかもしれない。
Absolutely.
本当にバカね。
Oh, it's fucking sick.
子供たちだけ危ない目には合わせれないっすよ。
We can't let others risk their
あなた
lives
たちは
like
大丈
that.
夫。
Well, we're just kind of being safe in that war, but yeah.
エヴァの中が一番安全なのよ。私がどうしてネルフへ入ったのか。私の父はね、自分の研究、夢の中に生きる人だったわ。
Mm-hmm.
そんな父を許せなかった。憎んで咲いたわ。
Reflection of yours, yep.
現実から、私たち家族という現実から逃げてばかりいた人だった。
Mm.
子供みたいな人だった。父はショックだったみたいだけど、その時は自業自得だと笑ったわ。けど最後は私の身代わりになって死んだの。父を憎んでいたのか好きだったのか。ただ一つはっきりとしているのは、セカンドインパクトを起こした使徒を倒す。そのためにネルフへ入ったわ。
For the person you once hated, you want to eliminate that for taking everything.
を果たしたいだけなのかもしれない。
Mm.
逃げちゃダメだ。そう。逃げちゃダメだ。
目標を最大公園で確認。
マギが距離1番までは誘導します。
Alright.
今後は各自の判断で行動して。
Counting on you supercomputers.
スタート。
Oh my god. That was a fun. The aura coming off the boy. Holy fuck. Oh fuck, dude. Wait, tears right there. Look. I was gonna blow up and goo everywhere. Ah. I don't think I gooed all over the place. It just blew up. Well done, lads. Holy shit. We pull off another impossible mission.
初号機を破損してしまいました。責任はすべて私にあります。
構わん。使徒殲滅がエヴァの使命だ。その程度の被害はむしろ幸運と言える。
ああ、よくやってくれた、桂木さんさ。
ありがとうございます。
ところで初号機のパイロットはいるか？
はい。
話は聞いた。よくやったな、シンジ。
Wow.
はい。
クは守ってもらうわよ。はいはい。タイ米を下ろしてきたから、ウィンターちゃんに耐えられるわよ。給料前だけどね。
美里の財布の中身くらい
Happy we got
分か
right
ってるわ。
again.
無理しなくていいわよ。優等生もラーメンなら付き合うって言うしさ。私、ニンニクラーメン。
Nice, we compromised to get her to come along.
へい、フカヒレチャーシューお待ち。
ねえ、美里さん。
何？
さっき父さんの言葉を聞いて
You
褒めら
find
れ
your
るのが
answer.
嬉しいって初めて分かったような気がする。
Hmm.
それに分かったんだ。僕は父さんのさっきの言葉を聞きたくてエヴァに乗ってるのかもしれ
Chasing
ない。
after that.
あんたそんなことで乗ってんの？
Everyone has stupid reasons for the things they
本当
do.
にバカね。
Yep. Ugh. Really, really cool episode. Expanding a lot on Misato, her backstory, and just her as a character, and giving us a lot of insight into her similarities almost with Shinji and their relationship there, but at the same time, his own issues and things that he's kind of going through, searching for this answer of asking this question to others to try and figure out their own answer of his own, of why exactly he's out here piloting the Seiba, why he's in this position of doing what he's doing. Only being able to provide that answer to everybody of just like, I don't know. I'm just kind of going with the flow, you know, we're just following the motions of everyone else and kind of what I'm being instructed to do as opposed to making my own decision along the way here. And it really comes to light with him finally being able to feel like he has that reason or understanding for what his reason is, and why he's doing this, which comes down to the praise he ends up gaining from his father, which is really sad the more you kind of think about it, because it's indicating a lot of things that are likely to come, and we get that with the connection that we can kind of make with Misato's backstory, which isn't entirely, I guess, true, because we don't have to truly foreshadow all of this stuff, and it can just allow the two of them to connect a lot closer together, or have a form of understanding with each other in the situation that they're kind of in. But it is really upsetting to think about that. It's a very realistic thing to think about somebody who is deprived of this for the entirety of their life, whether it's just the love and affection of somebody else that's around them, or just the, like I said, the praise, or just any of that stuff that he kind of wants out of this member of his family. His ununderstanding, I don't think that's I don't think that's what I meant, but his lack of understanding, I guess, as to his dad's relationship when it comes to somebody like Ray, and why he treats her or acts out the way that he kind of does around her. And he's just like, why have I never kind of received this? Why have I never been put in that sort of position where he kind of looks at me or says these things to me, or whatever the situation is regarding them? And it leaves this void that he already has, thinking about like why this guy doesn't want anything to do with him, what he did that was so wrong, why he's trying to constantly distance himself. And it leaves him wondering what that whole situation is about, which leaves him a lot more vulnerable and open now in the situation to thinking about what exactly it is that he wants, and reevaluating his own relationship with him, to the point that he ultimately gains the success from this attack, and his performance on it, and gains some praise out of him, which is realistically all he wants. That's what he ends up finding out, that little bit that he ends up gaining is exactly what he wants, which there's so many people that fall into categories like that, which is really upsetting for them to go into. And it allows for a lot of people to struggle with praise almost, which it can go multiple ways. Some people receive a lot, or don't receive any, I guess you could say, when you're younger. And the ones who end up not receiving anything go into life kind of feeling like they've never lived up to the expectations or done things that they should to the people that they really care for, which forces them to kind of push themselves and do a lot more than they likely should, and kind of have this hole in their heart and struggle to kind of be completely open to others and love and do all these things, because they have that extra hole, which is like that situation that we see Shinji in, while others can play on the other side of things where they do receive plenty of that stuff from the people that are close to them, but the problem is they don't receive it from others outside of that, and they can almost convince themselves that the people around them are only saying these things because they're just trying to kind of be nicer, they're almost like obligated to do so. So when they receive things from others on the outside, it makes them feel very uncomfortable and weird about how they should kind of accept a lot of these situations, and not know really how to act in those moments. But I guess there's also a third side of the people who just don't receive anything at all and then still struggle when it comes to no matter who's involved, to receive anything and don't know exactly what to do, which is the situation that we kind of see Masato in too, where she gets praised for her promotion and all this stuff, and then Shinji's kind of left wondering like, oh, she never made any mention of this, I didn't even know, and she doesn't seem too excited when people are saying that, and she just kind of brushes it off like it's like something that's like a natural occurrence and all this, leaving him like speculating that whole situation, which also she kind of puts into question with him as well, of how he kind of acts around other people. He struggles with the large groups of people, everything's kind of so noisy, he's not familiar with that sort of situation, he doesn't really know how to react in those things, he doesn't like receiving all that stuff either, and all that attention from people, and it puts them kind of in the same boat in those situations, which doesn't get fully expanded more until we end up learning a lot about her and her situation and the way that she felt towards her father and the whole thing that happened, where we see lots of similarities being drawn between her and Shinji, with both of the two not having the greatest relationship basically with their father, but at the end of the day being able to see her be protected and saved almost from or by him, her reflecting on that idea of this person that she almost had this hatred for, this lack of understanding why he treated her the way that he did or felt the way that he did, something that she really ends up reflecting on when she thinks about like, why was I really that important? Was it something like that he struggled openly to express to me, but he, at the end of the day, he still really did end up loving me and he put me in the situation? Or was it kind of like a curse? Was she cursed at that moment, right? He sacrificed himself almost for her to continue to live onwards, but at the end of the day, she gets left with kind of nothing, with the hole in her heart, essentially, which is with the scarring and everything that she has, this scar within her chest, and it's like, what do I have left? And you're just kind of left floating in the void, basically, that is the middle of Antarctica, right? Like, well, where do we go from here? What is my play? What is my purpose and my place for being here? So all of that now gets applied into her purpose for joining Nerve, her purpose for being here, and what she's actually striving for and what she's doing, and still the uncertainty that she almost has to this day of feeling where this revenge that she's essentially trying to get here and this hatred that she has towards the angels kind of comes out, and not understanding the place of them or of her father in this whole scenario and what exactly it is that she's after. And it's one of those, are you going to be satisfied after you ultimately can accomplish the things that you do, but are you also left in that position where you're okay taking these chances that we keep talking about? I mean, how low of a percentage that she keeps listing everything to kind of be, and are we going to take those chances constantly here, because we have almost nothing to lose at the end of the day if things go down? And by we, I mean more so herself, viewing that, and it's almost like a revenge towards him if she ends up letting herself go, right? If she ends up losing her life at the end of the day, this thing that he ended up trying to make the sacrifice and save, it's almost like, oh, fuck you to him, right? Like, all right, fuck you, buddy, like you know what, and then you tried to be this like heroic thing and act like you cared at the last possible moment, and then you kill yourself, forcing him to, you know, the sacrifice that he made to be something that holds up to zero value. It did nothing to save humanity at the end of the day because of the contributions and everything that she ended up making, or that he ended up making in that situation. So do we play along that, or does she take out everything that he kind of left with her here and take that revenge that she has out for destroying so much and taking so much, in anything and all the years and stuff that she would have within her life that basically got lost at this point, and she takes that revenge out to stop the angels in this moment? It makes you kind of question Shinji getting to fully understand that too and apply that to his own situation of realizing that there is a purpose, and even if there is an uncertainty, what it is that he's trying to do, and what it is that he's trying to do while he's here is really cool. We get that similarity, like I said, too, between the two, of like her dad kind of sacrificing herself, something that she almost would never expect, and he can kind of see that within his father here while gaining this praise, something that he almost expected to never be able to get. But also we could be kind of foreshadowing a situation that occurs where something happens and he ends up sacrificing himself so that Shinji can end up living, and so that they can kind of live on and do the things that they need to so that he can accomplish his goals towards the end. While I'm still not sold on that idea, because I still think everything he's doing is for his own benefit, and it has nothing to do with really anything else. Like, it's just for his own benefit. And of course, him giving this praise and everything to Shinji is almost like playing along in his game of realizing that this is the thing that I've devoid him of for so long, right? This is what he wants, and realizing that that's probably the thing that he needs, so that he can kind of trickle that in like little by little after we do certain things here, to allow him to keep chasing and doing more and more risky things over time that will put himself in harm's way here, for Gendo to be able to get the things that he actually wants, which I think is kind of messed up, and actually not kind of really fucked up, but I'll have to see how he develops that and ends up going a little bit further if he does. It's also messed up because we put Shinji in a spot where he's going to constantly chase after this praise, to the point that if he messes up, or even if he doesn't and he does things right, he might not gain any of that, which forces him to go harder and harder to try to do things better and better and accomplish more and more over time, to be able to reach that level, right? It's one of those things, if you give somebody praise for something at one point and you give it to them again, it doesn't really mean as much. So if you kind of stop doing it and only give it to them at certain special moments where they've really reached a different point, it is so much more impactful, and it allows him to strive and chase that so much longer, which is mentally not a smart thing for him to kind of do, which, I mean, Asuka even calls him out for, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, for a stupid reason like that's why you're in here, this is why you're end up piloting this thing, and it's like, yeah, it is absolutely stupid, but it's still, it's kind of the thing that he's chasing, and he's kind of been brainwashed almost to believe that this is the case, right? Or not brainwashed, but he's been just kind of lacking the thing that he realizes that he needs, and that affection that he wants from the person that he most wants it from, that he is willing to put himself in harm's way to be able to get that, which is really upsetting to see. Her as well, not telling the truth, lying to us. I mean, we're going to make the assumption that she's lying about what her purpose is for being here, the way that she kind of just wants praise and like the acknowledgement for people to see like her skills and all this stuff. It's like, maybe some of that has a hint of truth to it, but for the most part, I'm assuming it's in relation to why she's here through her mother and the backstory and stuff that somebody like Masato knows that we don't really get a understanding of, because she's never going to be open and honest about a lot of these things, of course. The angel wings that we see are basically the same as we end up seeing coming out of Unit 01 here, which gets me curious, but I don't know where to go with that statement, but it gets me curious. They are like pretty close, what we see rising up from the red water essentially that we have within the South Pole, in the situation where Masato is getting away and, you know, it causes this huge explosion and everything to kind of go bad from the second impact that we had. It almost seems like Shinji has the ability to awaken this, or he's infused in some sort of way with this thing, or he can like, I don't know what it is. Maybe they're not the same. Maybe it's something where we were designed in a way that can create this or reach us to a certain power, and it could be we play around with synchronizations of stuff as we have this entire time, but of reaching certain levels, and Shinji seeing like an increase at a rapid level that we haven't really seen, while still being lower than Asuka's at a completely different pace though, of how much he's kind of improving here, which maybe at a certain point we synchronize fully with this, and it allows us to awaken and create something that's so crazy that causes something like this to actually allow him to awaken this different power. I mean, it probably causing the thing to fucking fly and do whatever, who knows, but I'm seeing that Masato's father putting him in this thing trying to fucking, or putting her here and just shipping her off in the middle of nowhere, just making sure that she can kind of find her way out. I mean, these fucking things are, look how high up and everything that they go coming out the ground, the explosion that occurs, a lot of attention to detail on her cross as well, which, I mean, is something that we've played a little bit with before. I mean, last episode as well, with Shinji's reference towards goddesses or angels and stuff, right? That's probably significant a little bit going forward here. I also love like just the liquid and everything being on the ground, being all red and stuff. That's like so insane to think about what's kind of become of Antarctica over time here. Masato gets her promotion here. Of course, these two recognizing it while nobody else is really able to understand. Talking about that, don't you have any compassion? Like, bro, I don't know. I think that's just so funny. Being able to see the testing, I like the sequences like this of all of us kind of doing it, and the way that they displayed it, I think is pretty sick. I get to see the rapid expansion within Shinji, her getting all pissed about it in this moment too, because she wants the praise, right? And that's what we've seen so much. She wants that attention that she's given to others. Could be a similar situation of her being kind of devoid of that as well over the years. When it comes to the relationship with her mom, maybe that she lost her, she abandoned her, or something at an early point, causing her to not have somebody around like that. So even when it ends up having her call out somebody like Shinji later on, for just wanting the praise of somebody like that, she literally does what she does for the praise of other people around her, which is like exactly the same sort of thing. And it's something that she kind of won't admit or recognize at any given point. Masato takes on a very serious approach throughout the episode too. And you can just tell, like, usually she's a little bit more loose, but here she definitely isn't. Shinji questioning, you know, his relationship and the way that he feels about everybody kind of around him. And then asking her too, like, don't you feel good about this? Like, right, you got promoted. That means they're recognizing the hard work and the things that you've accomplished and everything. It's like, yeah, to a certain point, but then you almost have these higher expectations and these things placed on you, the things that she was of course cautious of when she finds out that he's not going to be too excited come, you know, finding out how much he's kind of improving and the things that they're going to have in store for him and expecting out of him more and more as we see more angels kind of appear, and as, you know, he synchronizes and gets stronger with his own Eva. It's like there's so much more that's going to come out of that, similar to the situation that he's likely going to go above and beyond and need to do more to receive that praise from his father. It's like at a certain point when you get recognized too, it's not the greatest thing either, but also it's not the end goal, right? It's not her reaching the peak or the thing that she actually needs to. So these little things along the way don't really mean too much to her. I like her getting the little sash too for it. And her just back talking towards Kaji here at this moment. Like, Antarctica just changed it. So look at that. It's so fucking cool though. It looks so good. This is like such a spot. We're revisiting this, right? Like there's no reason that we're not revisiting this at some point. Whether we do it like now or finale or something, like we're definitely going back here, and we have a lot of things that we have to explore, likely having to go against this thing that took everything out the first time, right? Definitely have to revisit it at some sort of point. The design of this New Angel is really fucking sick, and I really, really like it. We talk about this and trying to figure out exactly what we can do to attack this, and how basically the chances of all of this is very, very low. Misato talking about her wanting to evacuate and do all these things and save these people's lives is a big difference from what we've kind of seen. Usually she's just like, yeah, just jump in, we'll be fine, like they got this. And while still showing that she has the faith that everything that she's going to put within our pilots, still wanting to ensure that everybody's kind of safe within this range, and evacuate as many as she can, I think is pretty cool. I hate the constant, yeah, there's a 0.00001% chance of us completing this. It's like, no, there's not. Like, that's not like, why do we have to exaggerate it every time? I mean, whether she believes that, and I don't think she does. I think she's aware of that. Maybe she's just telling these others so that they're like aware of how serious that they have to kind of take everything here. It's just, I hate when we do that. Like it's just not true. And the number keeps getting lower and lower each time. It's like, yeah, we know they're getting harder, but at the same time, like I don't feel that intensity when we're in the middle of all these fights each time too. And for odds to go your way, for us to make a comment about her never winning the lottery before, and then also showcase that she's completed multiple operations through the help of you guys that are under like 0.00001%, like, which is fucking insane, that we've completed like 5 that are like that now, is kind of like, all right, we gotta stop with that. Like it's getting to a certain point. I also don't love constantly fighting angels every episode. I don't think it's necessary, and that was a fear that I had. I mean, because I know a lot of like the older Gundam series and stuff, they go like each episode with you having to battle against somebody else. So us doing that in the show, I was hoping wasn't the case, but it seems like the past like 6 episodes have always had one, which is a bit unfortunate. And I hope that we develop a lot more with characters and interactions and stuff between them, without us actually having to go in and attack an angel each time. Or maybe we can expand one through multiple episodes. I don't know yet, but I'm just kind of feeling that way. Us making a promise that we're going to end up taking them out and having like a dinner and celebrating and stuff like that, if we end up completing this, is definitely a little motivation there. I also like her giving the option of them running away and refusing to do this. We're not going to try and force you or put your lives on the line if you really are that afraid that you're not going to be able to do this, but them recognizing like, one, they don't want to be the first one to drop out when the others around them aren't, but also like how they're just going to be kind of treated and looked at and realize the blood that's going to be left on their hands of the many lives that may be lost because of the refusal that they make. They're probably end up not going to do that. We talk about making the wills and everything too, and everybody's like, well, I got no fucking family or anybody that I care about, so why does it end up mattering? So they all kind of go against it, and we begin our fight. The shot we have when we come up here, when we end up seeing all of them, and then we go from this to this, is so fucking cool. Actually awesome. Probably one of my favorites that we've had throughout this whole series so far. Shinji starts reflecting before we end up getting into our Ava, or right before we end up starting to fight, at least, and understanding Masato's backstory a little bit more, what happens during the second impact, her relationship with her father, realizing the similarities almost between his own and why she's in the position that she is and what she's kind of striving after over and over. The constant line of him talking about not running away while reflecting on the past and the things that he sees within his father all come back to light of here. If you run away, if you leave now, will you ever face that thing where you're able to get that praise or that feelings that you have towards him? Will you ever feel like you can become free of him? Constantly thinking back that you never achieved the things that you want, or you never got that praise that you needed from him, or you never, or just whatever the situation is, you'll never be able to be kind of freed from that, and that'll kind of hang over you always. So leaving those kind of regrets and running was never the proper thing for him to do, and he kind of finds that resolve to be like, all right, I'm gonna fucking sit here and do this now. We all charge in, pretty fun displaying the different speeds and everything of all of us kind of run, and I love having all three of us involved here and being able to do it, us breaking right through the AT shield here and stabbing that bitch in the eye. It's pretty cool, creating this massive explosion, which I definitely wasn't expected, but pretty dope. I mean, they consider it a success. I guess they don't care that they're just blowing land up and everything, but I mean, I guess they saved the lives of people, and that's probably all that matters at the end of the day here. Shinji receives his praise from his father, being able to hear that, realizing that's the thing that he actually wants. Masato here talking about taking out all the money for them to have a full dinner, even though she doesn't actually have the money. But them being respectful and recognizing that is pretty nice of us, just coming here and getting ramen together, just having some time together, bonding with each other, and spending that time, I think, is great. Also, I love just seeing Asuka complain and bitch about, like, we need to go, like, do all these fancy things and all this stuff. And then talk about, you know, the way that she kind of treats Rei or acts around her, but still wants her really around. She definitely wants to be friendly with her, as you can tell, doesn't want to leave her alone, inviting her to the party and everything that they had, even though that she doesn't show up. Once again, inviting her so that they all can come out together, after Rei's like, I'm not doing that because I won't eat meat, so like I'm not going and doing any of this, but then like kind of compromising and finding something that she's willing to do so that they can all still go, as opposed to just being like her stuck up self and being like, no, we're doing this because I want to do this, or this is the best option, and like even just downgrading so much to be able to do this just so that you can all spend time together, I think is really cool. And it's really sweet of all of them kind of being together here. Pretty cool episode. I'm very excited for a lot more. I hope we kind of keep this tone a little bit more going forward. I hope that we ramp the severity of a lot of the stuff up a little bit more, and we play into a lot more with the backstories and the things between the characters that we have plenty of questions, and we definitely have the setups for them, just haven't had the payoffs that we need just yet. But we are only halfway through, right? Or we're about to get close to halfway through here, so it makes sense that we're not fully there, right? We got to still develop a lot of this stuff, and I'm very excited to see what more we have in store. If you liked it all, the like and subscribe to mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel, leave comments with this episode or this series. We'll be back for episode 13 very soon. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.